Yesterday and this morning, I sat in my chair and I reread the opening prayer. Shining example, practicing the virtues of family life, bonds of charity, joy in the house. And I said to myself, this is so Ozzie and Harriet. Do you know who Ozzie and Harriet are? Ask your grandfather and your grandmother. Don't ask your mother and your father. They won't know either. And I said to myself, let's look at these readings. What is family life really all about? Because what's described in the first reading, the difficulty that Abraham had, whom we understand and know as our father in faith, and the difficulty he had accepting that maybe he would be childless and bringing this to God. And then in the nativity story, the escapade of Mary with the angel telling her, you have found favor with God and you're going to bear a child. This is like surprising news to her. Well, how come? And then the angel going to tell Joseph, oh, by the way, the woman that you are betrothed to, well, she's pregnant. And the pregnancy comes from God. Now we have to put that in our pipe and smoke it for a little while and try to understand what this really means and what was going on in Joseph and Mary's mind. And then in one of the Holy Family Gospels, in a different gospel, Jesus takes it upon himself to go to the temple when he's 12 years old and to talk to the doctors while Mary and Joseph are looking frantically for their child. So this is not Ozzie and Harriet material. It just isn't. What does it mean to really be a family? I know this because I was raised in one. And at a given point in my vocation career, I told my father, I was 13 years old, I'm leaving home. I'm going to the seminary. And he said, like, heck you are. And shewed this argument, which I eventually won. Okay? Which I eventually won. And here I am today. I want to read something to you that illustrates what's going on sometimes in families, which are not Ozzie and Harriet, okay? Somebody sent me this. It's really neat. Come on. They sent this to me at Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is all about getting your entire dysfunctional family under the same roof and hoping the police don't get called. You know, in your family and in mine, there are issues that seemingly will never get resolved. And I have to live with that, and you have to live with that. But the feast that we celebrate today and what we believe the entire Christmas season is about is really forgiveness at the heart of it all. It's coming to be able to talk with each other and not give up, and not give up, not to close the door. What does it mean to be a family? It means that there are individuals, there are people, there are young, there are old, that are coming at life from so many different directions. The young think they know it all, think that their parents know nothing at all, okay? And the old, they would say, if I could only get them to listen, if they would only follow a little bit of my direction. It is not easy being a family. It is not easy. If there's any one piece of advice that I give to parents, that I give to children. It's learn how to talk. I say to children, if you learn how to talk to your mom and your dad, doors will open. You will not have any problems at all in your life that you cannot handle, because you have learned how to speak from the truth, from where you are. You may not always be right, but the ability to talk it out, to be with people and to say things. This idea of really trying to communicate and giving the best of oneself to another person. This is where it's at. This is where family is at. We know how much trouble families are in, how difficult it is to raise a family these days. I mean, our own church last October initiated what we call the Synod on the Family, trying to talk honestly and openly, which our church has a real difficulty in doing, okay, about issues concerning adults, family, no matter what direction that you're coming from. So on this feast of the Holy Family, if you want to call it that, with all the issues that they had, all right, they learned how to talk with each other. And that's what I want to encourage you to do as spouses, as children, grandchildren, as people coming together around the table, which is what we're doing here this morning. Now, if you don't think that's enough, okay, here's another challenge, okay? Let's see that slide, all right? That one slide. Scientists tell us that there are trillions of galaxies, and in each galaxy there are billions of stars. And God said to Abraham, your progeny will outnumber the stars in the sky. Now, Abraham probably understood that to mean, oh, I'm going to have a lot of kids, okay? And the Jewish people are going to flourish. But what we celebrate at Christmas time is not only our immediate families, but the family of humankind. And that's what God was really looking at. And so God's challenge is to bring us as a humanity, as a universe, together. Imagine that. That means a whole lot of communication needs to go on. So what we celebrate today in Holy Family is not only each and every one of our unique families, and that's what they are. They're unique and they're really precious. But we also celebrate God's great desire for all of us to become one family. That's what we're going to pray for around the table. We're going to pray for the local family, and we're going to pray for the universal family. That is the will of God, that your family come together, and that we, as a human family, come together. Amen.